and welcome to another episode of Mindset, Money, Success. And I'm your host, Loraine Marshall. And today we have guest Carolyn Ann Wood. And she is a mindset mentor and a hypnotherapist. Would you like to introduce yourself, Carolyn?
Yes, hello everyone, and hello Loraine. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I'm delighted to be here. As Loraine said, I'm a hypnotherapist and mindset mentor, and I specialize in an amazing modality called heart healing, which literally does what it says on the box. It heals your heart.
Hello, it's Loraine here. And before we get into today's podcast, let me tell you about school. It's the all-in-one platform that coaches, trainers and creators like us use to share content, engage our audience and build recurring revenue. Whether you're through free membership or paid subscriptions, think $10 to $50 a month or even high-ticket upsells. School makes it stupidly simple. There's highly engaged communities. No more ghost towns. Charge monthly or keep it free. You decide. Zero hidden fees. It's just $99 a month after your first 14-day free trial, and you can cancel at any time. Unlimited members, courses and content, all with mobile app to keep your community connected. And the best part, you own the relationship. No algorithms burying your posts. Just your people, your content, your revenue. Are you ready to build your empire? You can grab a free trial and I'll drop the link in the show notes or below the video. Let's get you paid for what you already know.
Sounds fantastic. I think I should have had a few of that 5 years ago.
I think everybody in the world should have a couple of these sessions. Honestly, they're so incredible.
Yeah. So how long have you been in that line of work?
So I've been running my business part-time for a couple of years. And then last year I certified in heart healing. I previously trained in rapid transformational therapy, and then I came across heart healing, which just felt more complete to me. And so I decided to train in it. I became a certified heart healer in April last year. And then in March this year, I quit my day job. I worked my last day in May, and since then I've been going all in on my business. Yeah, it's been a really exciting, wild ride of I live in Malta, but I got rid of my apartment. I sold some stuff, donated the rest, and I'm currently living out of 2 suitcases. And I spent time traveling through South Africa to visit with family, and then the UK for my niece's wedding. I went back to Malta for a few weeks, and now I'm back in the UK for a few weeks. So, yeah,
Jeez,
it's
one busy
yeah.
woman.
Yes, yes, but it's been an incredible season of purging, letting go, releasing what was no longer serving me, and yeah, going all in on the new me, who is a businesswoman who has a successful business. And yeah, it's amazing. I love it.
That is good work there. I mean, for me, I've had a past where I was in business for myself for a long time in the UK, which is property management. I just basically started that property management business with 2 landlords and 5 properties, and hadn't a clue about property management when we started the business. It was me and a partner at the time, and it was just, just get in and do it, find out how it works as you're going along. That was the mindset that I had at that point. And it did grow because I didn't even have a business plan. And all I did was write on a piece of paper, double the income in the first 3 months, double the income in the next 3 months. That's all I
Oh,
wrote.
that's great. Yeah.
And
Keep it
honestly,
simple, right?
that is exactly what happened. When I looked back and
Yeah.
I'd wrote that down, and I looked back and I was like, wow, that was what happened.
The mind is a powerful thing. If
True.
you can believe something, then it will become real for you, you know. That's absolutely it. There is
Yes.
no other way. But the problem is, so many of us have these unconscious beliefs that we're not even aware that are there. And so without realizing, that's what we're calling into our reality.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I've read a lot of books. I've listened to a lot of tapes over the years because I used to work in network marketing. I did a lot of entrepreneurial stuff when I was younger, a lot younger. And like people like Jim Rohn, who had released tapes. And I even saw Jim Rohn on live events when I was traveling to different
Cool.
events for this company that I was working with as a distributor. And so you do get to learn some of the things about the mindset and how powerful it is to repeat the education, repetition of, affirmations, repetition of the motivational stuff that you listen to. You keep it on repeat to keep your level of energy and emotion up so that you can actually, it helps you to achieve things. I don't know if you feel that.
Yes, so yeah, affirmations will work if you say them every day. It's if that's all that you're doing, if you're only repeating the affirmations, it's going to take you a lot longer to see the results, right?
That's
So once you
interesting.
once you can clear any negative beliefs, because if you're saying I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, but you're not seeing it in your reality, it's because there's an underlying belief that's saying, well, no, you're not a millionaire, look around you, you know. So if you repeat that, you are training your mind. Your mind learns through repetition. The more it sees something, the more it starts to say, okay, this is my new normal, this is what we want. And so if you are repeating that, 2, 3, 5, maybe 10 years down the line, you are going to start noticing that you're getting richer, 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 and eventually become a millionaire. But if you want to fast track it, get to the root of those negative beliefs, those kind of unconscious beliefs in your subconscious mind, even in your superconscious mind, that are silently driving your life, saying, oh, I'll never be a millionaire because no one in my family's been a millionaire. It's not available to me. I'm not clever enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't have someone to help me. I don't have someone to give me £100,000 to invest in my business to get started. So you've got to get to the root of these beliefs. Now, these beliefs are quite often, well, they are formed. They start getting formed and imprinting in your early childhood years, in your formative years, right?
Yes.
And the crazy thing is, the beliefs aren't about the experiences themselves. They are about the other people who were involved in the experiences. So that's what heart healing does. It gets to the root of what happened to make you believe you're not enough. Who was the primary person who was involved in the very first memory that you have? Usually it's one of your main caregivers, whether it be parents or extended family, or if you were in adoption, adopted family or foster parents, or wherever it was that you were raised, whoever was your primary caregiver are usually the ones who are kind of teaching you about love, trust, enoughness, how to accept yourself, how to accept others, all of these things.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy because you think, oh, it was, I got shouted at because I was naughty. That's not why you're upset. You're upset because it was your dad who shouted at you. And because your dad shouted at you, that hurts you the most, because your dad's supposed to love you. So if he shouted at you, then you take that on. Oh, I'm not loved by my dad. I'm not good enough to be loved by my dad. Now, sometimes some parents do genuinely love their kids, and when they're shouting at them, it's out of love, or it's out of behaviors that they've been taught through their parents, or it's out of protection. So your kid's about to run across the street in front of a bus, you yell at them to stop them, to get their attention. But a kid who's getting shouted at only recognizes the fact that they're shouted at. They don't understand. The initial impact is, I'm in trouble, I've done something wrong, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
And then of course you have the opposite end of the scale, where some parents, some caregivers are just cruel, mean, vindictive. And so they might be doing things intentionally or even unintentionally that are actually hurting you. So it's never about the actual experience. The experience can be really, really crappy. Absolutely. There is no denying that experiences hurt you, but it's more about the person who was involved in the experience. And so that's what heart healing does. It kind of tries to put you back. And this is the other thing. Every memory that you remember, you hold it in your heart, you feel it in your heart, and you hold the memory of it in your mind.
Yes.
And the memory doesn't mature as you mature. So you remember the experience and you feel the experience always as that 3-year-old child. So when you're doing the subconscious work, you're going in and you're saying, but you're not that 3-year-old child anymore. You're actually an adult now, so you don't need to feel like that anymore. You can heal your inner child, give her a hug, whatever it is. So yeah.
Yes. I mean, looking back with childhood and stuff like that, I mean, there's instance, you can have little things that happen. And obviously some of my experience wasn't really good, but I didn't feel as if I was actually traumatized by my childhood. I didn't have any of that thinking that I've been really neglected or traumatized by it. I think some of the experiences in adult, when I was going into my first workplace, that's when some of the things were playing out. Being bullied by managers was one, and it wasn't one time, right? It happened 3 times. It's like one job I was in part-time, the manager bullied. The other job I was in part-time, that manager bullied. Now I quit those, I just walked out with my handbag one day. And I ended up I ended up in another job, which was a 9 to 5, and it was full-time, and I'd never had a full-time job before, and I'd just earned my degree, and I was working for a college, and I hadn't got the job originally because they'd rejected my, after interview, that I'd been rejected. But then it was a few weeks later, then they came back and said, are you still available? Because the post's still open. And I went, oh, great. And this job that was going
Divine
to be paying
timing.
over 20,000 and all of this. And I'm like, wow, it's a fantastic job. I'm going to have like a real job. Anyway, I wasn't in that position very long when I found out why the other person had left. She was an internal promotion. And the woman who worked in the office told me she'd left because she was being bullied by the manager. I was like, oh. And so I was in exactly the same, I was in the same position. I was being bullied by the manager. I'd only been there a few weeks. I should have just picked my handbag up and left like I'd done before. But because the money was good, I endured, which I shouldn't have, because my self-worth and confidence was eroded over the period of time that I stayed in that job, because it was good money. And I needed to have the money at the it was a terrible experience. to be in that situation. And, you know, probably gotten over it by now. Obviously, it was a long time ago, and I did go on and have a successful job later on. But the best ever experience I had was being my own boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Best ever.
You know what I say?
There's nothing better. Yeah.
What I say is, I am unemployable. I'm
Yeah.
unemployable.
Yeah.
Because it has to be that it's my business and this is what I'm going to do, type of thing. Because I couldn't go into another situation and work in a job.
No, I couldn't do that. No, absolutely no way. You know, my whole purpose is freedom, love, and connection. And this is exactly, I am living my purpose this year. It's been the freedom, you know, the time freedom, the travel freedom, the money freedom. It's been the connection because I was able to go to South Africa and spend 6 weeks there. With family I've not seen since before COVID, since 2019 was the last time, you know. So, and the first 2 weeks it was connecting with my brother and his wife. First time me staying under their roof. And their kids weren't there because they're grown up now, so they were all, you know, living their own lives in Durban. And then 4 weeks reconnecting with my parents, and then at my niece's wedding in the UK. Everyone who lived in Europe and even my brother and his family in America, they were all there at the wedding. So it was just this beautiful connection. And all the nieces and nephews are kind of between 16 and late 20s. And the ones who were able were just standing around the bar, drinking, having shots, having a great time, dancing together, laughing together. And it was just so wonderful to see all of that, you know?
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm all about unconditional love. You know, if you can love yourself and if you can project that love into the world, first of all, that's the key to everything. It's the key to joy, to happiness, to success, to wealth, to all the things that you want. Because when you love yourself and you accept yourself for who you are, you don't care about what anybody else thinks.
Yeah.
You have the confidence and the trust in yourself to make decisions for yourself that suit you. And if you fail, there's no such thing as failure. But if something doesn't go according to the way that you had hoped that it would, it doesn't knock you back. It's like, okay, great. So that didn't work. Let me try it this way, right?
Yes.
So that's what happens when you have self-love. And then connection, you know, I've been connecting with family and friends. So that's what it's all about: freedom, connection, and love.
Yes, exactly. And for myself, this last few years have been a little bit, what would I say, like a nightmare.
Oh,
Yeah, but you know, things are sort of changing, moving slowly. I mean, not to be down, but I was involved in litigations from more or less the start of the end of a relationship 5 years ago. And I was forced into a litigation I didn't really want to do. And then from that litigation, it just spirals, because then I was under, I think in 2022, 3 overlapping litigations from an ex-partner.
wow.
And I'd been told my legal advice when the first litigation failed. My litigation was a gender violence complaint, which I'd been advised to do. And when that failed, the next legal advice I got was from the organisation that supports women who have been in situations of gender violence. And that was negotiate.
Oh gosh.
Yep. And I couldn't, and I was like confused, because the lawyer that I'd seen who'd said you need to file this complaint, it told us to do that because the partner that I was with at the time, when we were having a meeting to do the financial settlement. It was meant to be a negotiation, an amicable, friendly ending. He was intimidating, threatening, abusive, verbally aggressive, angry in the meeting. And because I knew that he might be like that in advance, I'd actually recorded it. And so that was why I was told to do the gender violence, and then to be told by another lawyer I had to negotiate, when I was thinking to myself at that point, I was like, I've already done 6 attempts to negotiate. Now I just, you know. And so now, 5 years later, nothing's been resolved. And, you know, I've just been through a whole, what can you call it? I think I called it a merry-go-round that you can't get off. It's like you're going round and round and round, and you can't step off. You're trying to all of the time. Let's try and get off here. Let's try and get off here. And you're just going round and round. And I mean, I do know that other women in different places around the world gets involved in all of this stuff with post-separation abuse. And sometimes it's 10 years. 10 years before the litigations end. I'm thinking, oh no, I need a life. So I'm all out now to try and get my life back, to get back on track, you know, and hopefully there's no future like massive litigation coming my way.
So have you been manifesting for a positive? Have you been manifesting for a positive outcome?
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
or does it feel like you're just,
I mean, I've done so much stuff in the last few years, the affirmations, the positive mindset things, and I did lose belief quite a bit. So
how's your nervous system?
At the minute, I'm feeling fine, because I feel more calm, not as angry as I was, because I think anger is a huge thing.
It is. And you're hurting yourself more than you're hurting them.
Yeah, but I've released anger through lots of other, like, different things you could do to release anger, but I have released anger, and most of it comes from speaking out loud about it, and even shouting, and to get it released, and then writing. So writing is a way to heal. So I used the thoughts and everything, and I published a book. So that was how I got all of that out. But part of publishing that book landed me back into the litigation. Because in Spain, they didn't understand. I don't think they really understood everything. And they just thought, oh, well, look, she's defamed this man. So then I was snapped into, and it's not just defamation as like civil. It was defamation as in criminal. Because Spain still has criminal defamation law. But glad to say, 2 years, and it was completely dismissed. All of that completely dismissed. So, you know, you know, this is like the merry-go-round that I've been on. And this year, it's just been a year where I've been trying to pull together some of the things I've already created, some of the things I've already learned, because I've had to learn new skills. I've had to try and recover my self-worth and self-confidence, and you know, and it's hard to start to rebuild, especially when you're going through all of the you know, litigation and legal stuff, but getting there.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend that you, with intention, focus on regulating your nervous system, whether that be, you know, inserting breathwork practices throughout your day, or using EFT tapping to, you know, calm yourself, or whatever else you need to do. My experience, so I realized earlier this year that I've been living in a state of high alert my entire life. And I didn't realize that because it's all I'd ever known,
Yeah.
right? And so I wasn't working on my nervous system regulation because I didn't believe that that was an issue for me. I just thought, no, I'm always calm, I'm always chill. But actually, it was there 24/7 for my whole life. When I finally released that this year, I realized nervous system regulation, it all starts with how your body is feeling. And if your nervous system is dysregulated, it sends a feeling of instability and unsafety inside of you.
Mm.
So when you can truly calm yourself from within, and then work on clearing those subconscious blocks and then work on it with the conscious level as well, I truly believe that those three things for most people will do what they're looking for. Everybody's different,
Yes.
right? But I do believe nervous system regulation is absolutely core for everyone.
Mm. I mean, yeah, I've spent money on therapy and
Yeah.
psychologist, hypnotherapy. In fact, I
Mm.
decided to do hypnotherapy
Hmm.
as a way to calm myself because I
Yeah.
just didn't want to appear um, angry in the court when I had the court hearing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to feel calm, and I did get some techniques to use. So it
Hmm.
was like a technique where I was told if you use your thumb and your finger, and you can take it into your
Yeah.
hand like
Pressure
this
point.
and use a
Hmm.
pressure point, and you can just sit,
Yeah.
and then you can do that. Yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, then there's the breathing technique as well. And I think it worked quite well. I was pretty calm when I went into the criminal court and had to face the
Yeah.
judge. And
Oh my gosh.
honestly, I came out smiling. I was practically laughing because I felt that what I'd said to that judge, you could see by his expression that it was like, what the,
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, so I mean, it works at different things that you can do, the hypnotherapy,
Mm.
it all works. It's just
Mm.
actually physically taking that action, because I
It
know
is.
it's
That's the
difficult to
conscious
do.
level work. It's the
Uh-huh.
mindset work.
Yeah,
Yeah. And this
it's,
this is the thing. This is what a lot of people think. They think, "Oh, I've had a hypnotherapy session, one and done, I'm healed." No, it's a lifestyle. It's you choosing to embody the version of you that doesn't want to allow those negative stories to play out. So, yes, after you've had a hypnotherapy session, you will feel amazing, right?
mm,
If you're not listening to the imprint afterwards, it's not going to take as well. But it's not it's mind, body, heart, soul work, You can't it's the same as if you want to lose weight, you don't just reduce your diet. You need to also, get an exercise plan in place or start going to the gym. And you also need to, use your mind to pre-plan your sort of meals and things. It's not one thing that's going to get you the results that you want. It's working with the three things, the three tools, your mind, your body, your heart, um, mind, body, heart, and soul. Is that right? Mind,
so
body, heart, and soul. Yes, that's it. Yeah. All of that.
yeah,
Yeah, so but it's the conscious level work. You have to be doing it in your day-to-day life. And that is the part where your negative Nancy naysayer that lives in your head is going to be like, oh no, you don't want to go for a walk. It's cold outside. You want to stay wrapped up in your blankie on the sofa. Have another cup of coffee. Go on. Give yourself another half an hour. Meditate. That's a good idea. Meditate because then you're doing something productive. No, that is a falsity, right? You've already done your meditating. Now it's time for you to get up and move your body. The universe loves movement. And so moving is sending the message to the universe, to the world. I like to move. I like to take action. And
yes,
plays out if you want to be successful, if you're growing a business, if you're building a house, if you're whatever it is, planning a trip overseas. If you're not actually taking the action, you're not going to get the results that you want. And so movement is so important. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
all of those things are key.
Yes, I've seen some of these professional coaches who've got massive amount of following and you know, like Tony Robbins and things like that. And that's one of the things that they always do when they come onto the stage. They've got the loud music playing, and they get them to
dancing,
move around and
and use your voice.
Raises your energy level, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All of that. Yes, exactly. So important. So important.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got about 5 minutes left. So
Okay.
is there anything else that you would like to say to the listeners?
Yeah, I mean, the most important things, like I said, nervous system regulation, healing your heart, reprogramming your subconscious mind to work with you, and then taking the action, using the mindset shifting techniques to learn how to interrupt negative thoughts as they come up. And then as soon as you notice a negative Nancy thought, just go, no, that is not me anymore. I prefer to believe that I am capable. I am capable. It's the words that follow I am are so important. So be aware of what words are following I am.
Well, that's really good advice, because I mean we all have that negative little thing at the side saying, oh, you can't do this, or like you've got no money, you can't do that. But you've got to think in resourcefulness and then think, well, how can I do that? How might I be able to do that? So it's not just I can't do that. No, it's resourcefulness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My screensaver, let me just check it so I say it correctly, on my laptop is all the most successful people in the world never think about what they can't do. They only think about what they can do. And that was a quote by Napoleon Hill.
Oh,
so I have that
fantastic. Napoleon
on my
Hill
screen.
fan.
Exactly, yes. So that's on my laptop. So it's the first thing I see every morning. All the most successful people in the world don't think about what they can't do. They only think about what they can do. And it's so important. You must learn to pivot your mind to think positively. If you're thinking negatively, you've got your blinkers on. As soon as you think positively, your blinkers are like this, and you're going, ooh, look at that.
Yeah, you're open to opportunities.
Open, exactly. That's so important.
Yeah. Well, Carolyn, we've come to the end of the podcast, and it's been great to have you on. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. It's been lovely being your guest. And thank you to all your listeners for tuning in.
That's great.